Am I the a-hole for refusing to bring back the full Auntie and Niblings Day, even though it would help my sister-in-law out? Throwaway, because I don't want my people that know me reading this. I, 24 female, am the youngest to 3 brothers, 36, 34, 31. Yes, I was the surprise baby, and yes, I was coddled growing up. They're all married, and I get along really well with my sister-in-laws. Between the 3 of them, I have 7 niblings, all of them under 10, and one of my sister-in-laws is pregnant with the 8th. She's my middle brother's wife, and they already have 2 kids. Here's the problem. When it used to be just 3 niblings, I used to have full Auntie Niblings Day, where I would basically take them out from sunrise to sunset. Sometimes it was in the middle of the week, sometimes in the weekend depending on my work and social schedules. From the start, I made my boundaries clear because I had read horror stories about babysitting. I basically said that I will only offer that 1 day a week of auntie fun, babysitting, and will only babysit otherwise if there was extreme circumstances. For example, when one of my sister-in-laws had their 2nd baby, I was more than happy to have their toddler over for a 4-day sleepover until they were out of the hospital and settled at home. With each added member to our days, it became my worst nightmare to handle that many kids alone. Say what you want about me, but that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of kids, and just one me. So I started cutting the time and mixing and matching. Still the same day, but for example, I take one of my brother's kids for something fun at breakfast, another brother's kids for lunch, and the last brother's kids to dinner, and I'd mix it up the next week. No one had any problems with it. Now that my sister-in-law is heavily pregnant, 31 weeks, with their 3rd kid, she brought up the thought of me maybe keeping her kids all day and bringing them to stuff with the other niblings, because she used to use that as a self-care day for herself. I turned her down and told her my reasons. 1. It would still be a lot of kids to handle if we merge, 5 to 6 and 2. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of my niblings. She understood. No crazy, selfish sister-in-laws here. But I could feel her disappointment, and that made me feeling guilty because I'm not a mom. I have no idea how hard it is for her. My brother talked to me after that and asked if I would reconsider if he sends their usual babysitter with me to help out. I told him I'd think about it, but I don't want to be unfair to the other kids. Plus, I don't know this person that he would be sending with me. Am I the a-hole if I also turn down that offer? Edit. I want to say thank you for all your takes. I thought making an edit would be easier than replying to every comment, as much as I wish I could reply to everyone. I just want to clarify first that I came up with the whole Niblings Day because I grew up somewhat close to my brothers despite the age gaps. Obviously, we grew apart a bit when life started happening for them. They all moved out, went to college, and here I was still in middle school, but we got close again when I grew up and started to relate to them more. Anyway, that's all to say that I made the day. So the kids and I have a relationship and their parents getting a small break was just an added bonus, something that I may need to remind them of. A lot of people asked why my brother or other brothers don't have uncle days or trade off kids to give their wives time off, and it's mostly because their schedules are rarely in sync, unless it's around the holidays. We all get together then, and they all divide the child care among themselves. My dad pitches in too, and their wives, our mom and me, don't lift a finger. As for why parents don't help, they used to until my mom had hip surgery, and they made it clear that they'll pitch in when they can, but not to rely on them, and my pregnant sister-in-law's parents are hours away. As for the babysitter, I don't think it's that wild that they don't send her out in public with the kids, but what do I know? I don't have kids, LOL. If they send her out with me, I think it would be awkward and uncomfortable because what if her caring style is different from mine? What if she thinks something is okay and I don't, or the opposite? Who will the kids ask permission from? What if some of the kids ask something of her and she says yes and they run off while I'm busy with the others and I end up not keeping track of them? I'm the type that I need to know where every little one is at all times, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't be her boss and have no right to ask stuff of her like I am. As for my sister-in-laws, the pregnant one is a stay-at-home mom, while the other 2 work. So I imagine they want to wind down at home as well in the weekends with their family, IDK. I'm close to them, But I don't ask them what they do, that's just weird because they're married to my brothers, unless they volunteer it in conversation. A lot of you suggested I alternate between sets of kids each week, but that would mean that I would only see each of them one time a month, and I don't know about that yet. I know I'll have to dial back at some point, and it won't always be this way, but they're still so young and cute that I don't have the heart to pull the plug on our days. I do agree that we need to have a talk, and that some things need to change, though. And finally, how can I even afford to do this every week? I'm a tech girl, and was lucky enough to land a cushy job that's also flexible when it comes to remote office time. My social life is healthy, guys. I don't just spend my time around family, and I am dating. Or trying to, at least. It's not easy in the 2024 dating pool. No offense to any guys, I'm sure you're all lovely. If I have news and you guys are interested, I'll update. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. If they have a regular babysitter they are willing to send along, then there is nothing stopping them from letting you have the niblings for part of the day, and then you drop off their kids to the babysitter who has money for the zoo or aquarium or picnic in the park or whatever y'all do with kids in your neck of the woods. Same cost to your brother and sister-in-law. Sister-in-law gets a day alone and no extra stress for you. Commenter. We don't know if the brother has time on the days OP does her nibbling day. But there's obviously no reason he couldn't take the kids out on whatever day off he has to give his wife a day off.